Hello, everyone, and welcome to the second part of our Grow with Google series with Amanda Hammett as our trainer. So in this webinar we're going to learn all about the Google Market Finder tool, which I'm very excited to learn about because this is all brand new to me. But specifically, we'll be covering the benefits of exporting. We'll introduce the Google Market Finder, and then we'll also learn how to use the tool to explore other markets for your business. My name is Christine Niesel, and I am the CEO and co-founder of Bravium Consulting. We are a technology consulting and software product company that specializes in helping organizations run more efficiently using low-code, no-code platforms like ServiceNow and Pega. And again, with me today, actually all the way from Spain, is Amanda Hammett, our trainer. She is the co-founder and CEO of Core Elevation, Inc., which is a leadership development consulting firm focused on leveraging the recruitment and retention of next generation talent for higher levels of retention, productivity, and profitability, which right now in this day and age is so important in this era of the Great Resignation.
Yeah.
She is nicknamed the Millennial Translator when she barnstormed North America, delivering over 800 keynote speeches in 5 years to 1 million plus charged up millennial and Gen Zs ready to take on the business world. Amanda's deep understanding and work in the trenches with millennials and Gen Zs led corporate executives and global leaders to pursue her as the thought leader in helping them connect to the very audience they were struggling to understand and retain. This is amazing. Thank you, Amanda, for being with us here today. And again, this is all very new to me, so I'm very excited to learn all about this topic.
Yeah, I'm super excited to be here. We are here for part 2. So thank you, Christine. Thank you for joining me for this little journey today. As Christine mentioned, I am calling in from Spain, but I am based in the Atlanta area. I actually sit on the US PAC board for the Southeast. So thank you, US PAC, for having me here. So if you joined us last week for the first part, you know that we covered a good bit of information. We introduced the Market Finder. We talked about why you might want to actually export. And so today we're gonna finish up with that. We're gonna continue on. I'm gonna switch over to my slides, and I'm hoping that you guys can see my slides. Christine?
It looks great from my end. And
Okay.
Before you begin, I just wanted to encourage anyone, if you guys do have questions, put it in the chat. I will bring them up to Amanda as she talks, so definitely don't be shy and submit those questions in.
No, today is not a day for being shy. Today is a day to get your questions answered. And hey, if we don't know it, we're going to figure it out for you. We're going to point you in the right direction at least. All right, so as I was mentioning last week, this was the agenda that we introduced to get us started in learning about this Market Finder. So we talked about why exporting, what is the Market Finder, which, in case you missed last week, it is a free tool from Google that basically scans your website and helps you figure out which countries, which markets might be a great start for you to start your exporting business. We export some markets, but today we're going to look at planning your operations, marketing your business, and then we're going to do a little recap. So if you did not join us last week, do not worry. We have videos that we recorded from last week that you are welcome to go and take a look at. Stay with us though today, and we will we'll catch you up as best we can. All right, so I'm going to jump through several slides before we get going, and let me scan through, and here we are. Operations planning. Okay, so as I mentioned before, we are already picked out why we should be exporting. What were the benefits? You know, profitability, the potential for a talent pool around the world, which is something I could talk about all day. But also, it gives you a competitive edge. Then we actually took some examples and walked through how to actually start using the Market Finder tool. And so we've gotten through all the way through this, but now we're going to actually start planning our operations. So we're going to look at what the Market Finder can do to help us with operations planning that are involved in expanding your into new markets. So There's a lot of things to consider. I'm sure that we all know starting a business in the US, that can be difficult. But when you're looking to expand beyond our borders into global markets, there's a lot to be considering. Things like taxes and money, currency differences, customer service. But at the same time, it's a little bit exciting. It's a little bit nerve-wracking, but exciting. And this Market Finder is actually a wonderful planning tool that can be the key to your success. So on this slide right now that we have up, this actually shows the different considerations that you're going to need to think about when you're expanding your operations. Things like localization, global payments, customer care, logistics, talent recruitment. I might know a thing or two about that. And then of course, your biggies, taxes, and legal considerations. Now, this is just a screenshot from within the Market Finder tool. And as you can see, the Market Finder tool actually will guide you through many different things as these operational areas that you'll need to think about and consider. And it actually tailors the content to match the markets that we picked out earlier in last week. So last week's example, we used Strider bikes, and I believe the 3 countries that we narrowed it down to were Germany, the UK, and France. So all of the information will be tailored to those specific countries that you have shortlisted earlier on in the process. So if you click on the operational areas up there, I think it's got it highlighted up there for you, you'll actually be able to access specific insights into these markets. But don't worry, I'm going to take you through a couple of these and so we can get a closer look. So on the left side of the screen, you'll see localization. Now, of course, localization is something that you really want to keep in mind as you begin to export. You want to make sure that the products that you're exporting actually fit the place that you're exporting them to. You want to make sure that they fit the culture, the language, and the customs of those target countries. But on the other side of the screen, we want to think about something super important, getting paid. Isn't that right, Christine? Everybody wants to get paid for the work that we do, correct? So we want to know about what payment channels are going to be the most commonly used in these new markets, because what we use here in the US may not be the most commonly used in France or China or Japan. So we're using this tool to help us figure out how you're going to best be able to take those global payments. So another consideration for you to think about is customer care. And this is something that as business owners, we think about and we deal with every single day. And it's a major consideration. So one thing that you may actually want to consider is working with someone locally in the localized market who actually understands what the customer is looking for in that market. What are the customs when dealing with customers? You also might want to think about using a CRM system that successfully will help you manage that customer care. Now on the right side of the screen, logistics. This is going to be a big one. They're going to start to get a lot more complex once you start exporting around the world. So planning how you're going to get goods into customers' hands, that's going to be a major concern for you. And don't worry, this Market Finder tool will actually help you do that. And actually how not only do you get them into your hands, but let's say the customer is unhappy, how do they return them to you? That's another thing that we need to think through. So again, thinking through and working with local logistics companies who would help you navigate the customer care piece, but also the regulations, the requirements for legal reasons, and also the transportation piece would be a key thing to making you successful as you move forward with this. Now, I wouldn't be here and I wouldn't be who I am if we didn't talk for just a second about the talent piece, the talent recruitment piece. This is something that you're really going to need to take into consideration, especially in today's world. Now, being able to open up and recruit globally for something like this, for your exporting side of your business, actually gives you a competitive edge, both in the talent world, but also in the, competing with your competition world. So this is something that you're going to need to consider in your new market. Having a local people, localized talent there that can help you with things like payroll and help you also on the other side be able to sell your products better, how to market to your new customers, to your new audience, and of course, improving your profitability. Now, the wonderful thing about local talent in these areas is that they can help you scale because they really understand how businesses operate in their country. And of course, we need to think about taxes, fees, regulations, customs, all of those things on the right side of the screen. Now, all of these, the taxes, the legal, the customs, they vary from country to country. And the thing that we need to think about is that any kind of mistakes, even small ones, can lead to heavy fees. They can lead to legal actions, which can drain your profitability quickly. That's why it's really important to get those operational pieces nailed down. Now, the great thing is that Google provides a lot of articles, case studies, and guides in the Market Finder tool that can help you take a deep dive into the operational planning topics that you're going to need to face as you move forward with this new side of your business.
Amanda, actually, I do have a quick question.
Oh, we'll go for it.
Because whenever you talk about talent, my brain just sparks up because it's so important, and especially now, just finding people is the most difficult thing, I think, in any business right now. But the Google Market Finder, so is it spitting out just like search results of local talent companies to that country, or what are you actually seeing? And maybe you'll get into this later, so you could definitely table it, but I'm just curious to know, like, what am I looking at when I'm looking at that topic?
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll get into this a little bit later, but they actually have tools that other companies and other places around the world can actually take, almost online classes that actually give them some sort of knowledge, certification, and that actually can help make some, let's say, introductions into various worlds. So if you're out there looking for talent, they may be able to provide it on the other side of where you are. But that's a great question. But that's the same not only for talent, but also for marketing or for those legal pieces. But great question.
Thank you.
Great question. So to the audience, to those of you sitting out there watching this, let's talk about some questions that you might want to think about or you might want to consider. And if you're feeling frisky, maybe even jumping in and participating. So what operations topics are you most concerned about as you plan your expansion? And, maybe you haven't gotten there yet. Maybe you're just in the early stages of planning your expansion. But I'll be honest with you, one of the things that concerns me most, and Christine, you chime in here too, but one of the things that concerns me most is the legal piece, because that can be so daunting in the US. And I speak the language. I can't imagine trying to navigate that in another country. What are your thoughts? Or not?
And I can definitely echo that about the legality around everything. So we are primarily a federal government contractor. And being in the software development business, it's been very tempting to offshore the development piece, but that makes it tricky in terms of providing, federal government clearances and just being authorized to work on that. So it's something that we've been just trying to work with our lawyers and accountants to see how can we maneuver that if we want to expand our services to be outside of the US. So
yes. That legal piece, it is the daunting piece. Absolutely. It's the daunting piece for any, business owner, but honestly, it's something that it seems like Google can just at least point you in the right direction. Mm-hmm. All right. Any other questions from the audience? I can't really see. Anything, Christine, popping up?
I do not see anything.
Well, we have a quiet audience today.
I know.
All right. That's okay. That's okay. Well, we're here to provide information and we will keep chugging along. But listen, don't be shy. If you have questions, make sure you put them in the chat and, Christine will make sure that I answer them to the best of my ability. All right, so let's move on to marketing your business. How you'll market the business and scale your brand across borders is huge as you plan your expansion. It's a huge thing. The next section that we're going to talk through is how to use the Market Finder to better understand how to support and build your brand and marketing strategy for this expansion. So let's dig in, everybody. So a solid marketing plan has a strategy and an understanding of how to measure performance. So when you're expanding globally, trusted partners can be key to getting the most of your marketing and advertising plans. So this screen right now that we have up on the screen, the slide that we have up on the screen, excuse me, actually shows the 4 big considerations that you need to think about when you're looking at global marketing. So of course you have a global marketing strategy in blue, then moving into performance and measurement in green, advertising in yellow, and finding a trusted partner. This is big right here. So this again up on the screen right now is actually just a simple screenshot from Market Finder, from within Market Finder again. And if you look at the top on those tabs at the very top, you'll notice the one that we've got highlighted right now is Market Your Business. And this will give you some access to some different tools, different guides, and resources that will help you market globally. But we're going to go over a couple of the offerings right now. And that's the wonderful thing about this tool, but also a lot of all the other Google tools, is that they really have taken the time to think through what is a business owner going to need next to take that next step. What will they need? What information can we help them, get? So on the left side of the screen, we are looking at the global marketing strategy. And of course, that's just a strategy that encompasses all the different countries that you are going to be marketing. And we're aiming to coordinate your company's marketing efforts into these countries. So you learn how other companies have done this by reading different case studies that the Google Market Finder can provide for you. They also will give you the most creative marketing strategy is, well, it's pretty much useless and a waste of money if you actually aren't able to measure it on the right side of the screen. If you don't know how well it's performing, it's just basically throwing money down the drain, which I think we've all learned before. So being able to explore the tutorials on how Google is using different tools and resources that will allow you to analyze your performance and get some good results on what you're actually doing, whether it's paid or unpaid, is priceless information. So on this next screen, we've got on the left side, we're going to talk a little bit about advertising that actually will play a fairly big role in your global expansion. So there's a few different types of advertising that we're going to talk about. The first one is search advertising, display advertising, and video advertising. So if you were with us last week, you'll remember that we talked about Strider bikes. And I don't know if you remember this or not, but one thing that stood out to me was that Strider bikes expanded into Japan. And one of the ways that they were able to do that was through video advertising. But it was free video advertising through YouTube. They had over 10 million views on YouTube about their bikes, which is amazing. So Market Finder actually has detailed guides on creating successful campaigns in all 3 of these mediums. And finally, with your operations, marketing your business across the globe is going to go a little more smoothly with partners who have experience, going back to Christine's questions, and expertise in these global markets. They can help you actually find agencies who have completed all the international growth program trainings and have met some preset customer objectives on the Market Finder, which is a really helpful piece to helping you grow to that next level. All right. So we've gone over a bunch today, but we're going to recap everything because Well, I just threw a lot of information at you, and we're going to recap not only this week, but we're going to recap a little bit of last week. So we've started again with the basics, getting started with exporting, including choosing a market, planning your operations, and scaling your branding and marketing. So what's going to be next for us? Well, expanding your business and looking towards exporting to other countries, or even considering expanding your business, is huge. But businesses today are becoming increasingly global, even for us that are small. And that's something that I think 2020 and the coronavirus really showed us, is that even small businesses can have a big impact. And the fact of the matter is that if you aren't doing business in other markets, you're losing out, because your chances are your competitors are actually looking into moving into other markets. What can they do outside of what they're doing right now? And they may be looking into it now, or they may actually already be going after it. So you need to get onto this if you're interested as soon as possible. And just taking one single step today beyond showing up for this webinar is all you need to get moving. Just starting out thinking about how your products might sell overseas or where you might market them will get you just a little step closer. And the Google Market Finder will help you with those things. So do we have any questions up to this point, Christine, or anybody marinating on some ideas?
Do not see anything.
That's
any
okay.
questions at all, guys, even if you think it's simple? This is all new to me too, and I'm sure it's new to all of us.
Listen, I think that this is an amazing product. I don't work for Google. I hope that that's obvious, but I'm just fawning over it. I think it's a really cool thing.
And the fact that it's free.
I know, right? For those of you who want to try it out for your own business, you can go to g.co/market finder. If later on you can't remember that, just Google Market Finder, and I'm sure that you'll come up with it pretty quickly. But see what it says about your own business. What other opportunities are out there if you're just willing to take a couple of steps? So speaking of steps, let's start to wrap this up as quickly as we have already today. So there's a few next steps that we need to look at. The first step is, if there's a possibility that your business could expand to other markets, please check out the Market Finder to learn more about where you might be able to expand to and what steps might be involved in that. Number two, as any good entrepreneur and small business owner needs to continue to do, keep learning. I'm going to point out a few more digital tools and tutorials that could benefit you, but go to visit grow.google to find a bunch more tools, more tutorials, things that are available to you from Google for free, because they're trying to help you grow and thrive in your business. And of course, if I haven't said this enough, there is no shortage of resources out there for you, just to help you get started and to help you move forward. So now that you know a little bit more about the Market Finder and how it can help you, I'm going to point you to a few more resources that may help you as you move forward. And these are a little more generalized. They may help you here, but they may help you in other areas of your business as well. So if anybody here wants to sharpen your business and marketing skills, there's a really cool app from Google called Primer. It's also free. That seems to be the code word of the day. If you have an Android device, you can download it from Google Play. If you have an iPhone like I do, you can download Primer from the App Store. And really all this is a series of short, fun lessons that are all less than 5 minutes. And that's it. These images, the image on the screen actually shows you how Primer will look on your mobile device with the screen. And this one actually that it's showing you is tips for building a successful website course. but there's a bunch of them available and free. You just have to take advantage of them. Again, if you just go and download the app on your Android device or on your iPhone, it's called Primer, Primer. So if you want to continue on with your Google education, we're basically going to get a degree from Google soon. You'll be able to grow some digital skills no matter where you're located. So I'm here in Spain. I can do this from my office here or from the US in Atlanta. But you can go and take some online workshops where you can learn different skills that can help you stay connected and productive while working or managing your business remotely. That's the best part. You can do this remotely. So if you are curious about any of the workshops that you can take virtually from home, go to g.co/grow on air. That's g.co/grow, GRO, on air. And that will give you a list of all the current virtual digital skill workshops and some descriptions of each of them. Additionally, if you signed up for a Google account, which I think we all have, you can actually sign up to get notified when upcoming classes or new things have been added. So things like Google Ads or using YouTube like Strider Bikes did to grow your business. And also how to use Google Analytics. That's a really cool tool as well. All right, moving along. If there's any questions, you guys, we're open to them. Okay, so another great tool and another great resource for everyone is their Google's quick help videos. And this allows you to get some answers and learn how to make the most of Google tools. And the great thing is they're little micro moments. So they're very short videos. They're usually less than 5 minutes. And you can learn all kinds of things. I've taken a bunch of these myself, but it's things like how to list your business on Google search and how to get your business listed on Google Maps, how to create a YouTube channel for your business, how to start a Google Meetup conference. There's a ton of them available out there. And if you want to go and see what might interest you, feel free to go over to g.co/grow/quick help. I think let's pop that into the chat because that one's a little more complicated, I think, than the others. But it's
Amanda, we do have a question. From Karen, thank you. So she's asking, how have you gained the most income in the most effective way? I guess using this tool.
Oh, that's a great question, Karen. I don't know. I personally am just starting to use this after I got introduced to it. The great thing about this is that it is built specifically for people that are starting 101. So Karen, you need to definitely, if you have any interest in this whatsoever, I think you should go in and just see how Market Finder can help your business, or it could help you look into other markets that maybe you haven't considered. I think that's the wonderful thing, is that it starts you thinking about things that you haven't thought about before. My own company, we started looking into this, and we're in the very early stages about looking into expanding into different countries as well. A lot of it is into the Europe market. So Germany and the UK are some of the big ones that we would hit on according to Market Finder. But I think it's something that we can all use and expand. Frankly, Christine, you said you didn't even know about this. I actually didn't know about this until probably 4 months ago myself. So this is a very new thing, at least new to me. They opened it up during the pandemic, I think, to the US. It was specifically for the Europe market before that. But now we're starting to see the benefits of all of the data that Google has been gathering for all of these years. So Karen, jump on it, check it out for yourself. All of you, check it out for yourselves. Keep those questions coming if you have one. All right, so I think the one thing that I am really thankful for with Google is that I obviously use them every day as a big part of my business, but it's not just for me as a small business owner. Grow with Google, which is what this Market Finder tool is part of and what this webinar series is part of, is actually a new initiative that Google is doing to help people prepare for work, to help people find jobs, and to help people like us, small business owners, grow our businesses. So job seekers actually can grow their skills in order to find new jobs and advance their careers. And right now, I think would be a prime time for people to do that. Teachers, which have been under a little bit of stress for the past 18 months, they can learn how to put the latest technology to work inside and outside their classrooms. Small business owners, like all of us here today, can actually use tools like Market Finder, but others to build our online presence and to find new customers, like what we've been talking about. And any of startups in here, you can learn how to get your ideas the exposure that they really need. And if you are a techie and a developer, you can sharpen your current skills and master new ones. So Grow with Google has a ton to offer just beyond what we were talking about today. So there's a few things that floating around on this particular slide right now that's up on the screen, but if you just go to google.com and /grow, I'm sure that you can find plenty of things to learn about and to use to expand your business or to get new eyes on your business than you had before. All right. That's going to about wrap us up today. Unless anyone else has a question, thank you, Karen, again, for being brave and asking a good question. Does anyone else have one? I'm going to give you a second to pop in there.
And while we're waiting for a question, Amanda, just, you talking about, because you do have a consulting business, a services-based business. And when I was going into this, I thought this was Google Market Finder was helpful for just product-based businesses.
Yes.
Like if you have a hard product, but can it also be used for services as well?
Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. It can be used for services. And that I think that's a great, thank you for pointing that out. That is a great thing that everybody needs to be aware of, is that a lot of us, I know, at least in the US PAC Southeast, a lot of us are consulting based. So we don't have a hard product. I don't sell cell phones. I don't sell cell phone cases, but there are other things that we can do. There's other ways to expand our businesses, and the Market Finder actually can help us do that as well. So absolutely. Anything else? Well,
yeah, I don't see anything coming in.
All right, everybody. Uh-oh, do we have something?
It's just Karen saying thank you. Thank you, Karen.
Karen, you're so welcome. Thank you for having me. Thank you for inviting me. Well, all of you, thank you so much for joining us today. If you have not watched last week's, the part 1 of this, please go back, please view the video again. It'll give you some great insights, maybe some things maybe if you watched it live, maybe some things that you didn't pick up the first time. But the wonderful thing, and I hope the big takeaway is that Google has a tremendous amount of resources and information out there for us for free to help us build our businesses, which, hey, I love it.
Yes, thank you so much, Amanda. Again, this was very helpful, very useful information. I will definitely be checking it out myself. And for everyone else, it looks like we'll have more Grow with Google session dates coming up in 2022. So check out your email, your inbox, and look for further communication from the US PAC. Thanks, everyone.
Okay. Actually, wait, before we hang up, Philip asked, will the slide deck be shared from today's session and from the previous session? Philip, fantastic question. That is a question I don't have the answer to. Does somebody want to chime in and answer that is all knowing here?
I know that the last session is the YouTube video is available.
Yes.
I just don't know if the hard file
I don't
available.
either. That is a great question. Yes, it will be shared online at US PAC, and of course this video and the slides will be on their website. All right, That's it.
All
Philip,
right,
thanks
great.
for asking that question. And that showed a lot of people, that helped out a lot of people. So thank you guys. All right. Well, thank you
All
guys
right.
so much for joining us.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks, Amanda.